Can you talk about obviously you're focusing on the offensive line to get started?
Yeah, I mean we waited a whole round to jump into our offensive line sweepstakes, and it was something that we were focused on, through the off season. And both Smitty and I spent a lot of time focusing on the offensive line and how we could acquire some more size, strength, and stoutness to help bolster our roster.
Talking about both these players, their possible abilities to compete for starting jobs next year.
Well, both of these guys have great size, have not only the physical skill set that we're looking for, but they were both captains of their football team, which I think is very important when you're doing your due diligence and evaluating players for the draft. And we're going to have an open competition, John. I think competition brings out the best in everyone. And these two guys that we added, we're going to put them right in the mix, and we're going to have a very competitive off-season. It'll start with the rookie mini camp in 2 weeks.
What were the traits that attracted you out of Peter in the second round there?
Peter he's a lunch pail guy. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy who has the versatility to play both center and guard, which is important. We talk about that all the time in here, talking about offensive line acquisition. He's a smart football player. He's a team captain type of guy as well. He's one of those guys for us who has the stoutness and the size at 6'5". He's 315 now. We believe he could possibly be 320 as well. He's got good anchor ability, which is important for us. And again, with the versatility to be able to snap, shotgun snap, as well as shift over to the right guard, that was something that really caught our attention.
Did their history of putting in linemen in the league kind of help you analyze his ability or make the projection that he'd be fine at those positions?
I think
Joe Thomas and those type of guys.
Right, there are a few teams out there, colleges out there, who do a great job of producing offensive linemen. We know that Wisconsin and Iowa are two teams that stand out in our minds, and Wisconsin for us, they're well trained, they're very technique sound, they're very sound at all levels as far as the understanding of the game. And they are, we've heard some of the people in the media refer to them as plug and play type guys. They're guys that can come in and they're going to battle, and they're going to be ready from a mental and a physical standpoint. And we're hoping that Peter can come in here and be ready to go and compete for for a starting job.
Will he work primarily at guard?
Well, I mean, that's something that Smitty can talk about as well. And our goal is to have him come in here and compete at guard and center, and where the best may win. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that can play both positions for us. And as you know, when you have 7 active on game day, you've got to have guys that can play multiple positions, and you want to have guys. You'd like to have at least 3 guys that can snap the football, because you can't run a play if you can't snap it. But in terms of Peter, he's going to start at the guard position for us, but he will get some work at center as well. We'll start cross-training these guys from the very beginning. We're speaking about Peter, but we'll do the same thing with Lamar as well. Lamar has position flexibility as well. He's a big guy that's played tackle, and we feel like he can play both the left and the right tackle, and possibly has some ability to move inside. And I think that's the thing that you want to have, is you want to have the multiplicity with your offensive line, where the guys can line up and play in different positions.
A lot of people had Peter ranked in the first round. Were you guys surprised that he fell down to you guys in the second round?
But yeah, we were very fortunate in our minds to get him where we did at 55. I think there seemed like there was a run on offensive tackles, as we saw early on in that round, and we knew that as we put up our projected needs across the league, that there were seemingly less needs for inside guys. So we thought we were going to have an opportunity to see him close to 55. Again, projecting that there were a lot of needs for offensive tackle and not as much for guard and center.
How important was it to get bigger? You both mentioned their size. Is it a stated goal to get bigger in the offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. We talked about coming in here and getting some wide loads. And quite honestly, Lamar's a double wide load, and he's a big man who has a presence as far as his stature and such, as well Peter is, and I think that's one of the focus points for us, one amongst a number of discussion points.
Peter's medicals, the blood clots and the ankles, were you all happy that all checked out, or did all that check out?
Yeah, everything checked out fine. I mean, the reported clots or the blood clot was an anomaly. It was off of an impact situation. As far as his ankles, he's cleared up very well, and you know, he is a durable type of guy, and he's a tough guy who can play through any nicks and pains, and you know, as a lot of those Wisconsin guys are.
What were people missing on Holmes? He was projected as a late draftable guy, but you all felt good about him where you put them at.
You know, Lamar Holmes is a big guy, as we mentioned. He has versatility and long arms. He's a 35-inch plus arm guy. The versatility to be on both the left and right, slide off the left and the right side is important for us, as well as his toughness. He's an ornery guy. As you know, he's a team captain as well, as we mentioned earlier. I can't comment on why he was projected late. He had a really nice East-West game. Having been a junior college transfer, I think, I don't know if people, again, I can't concentrate, or I can't comment on other teams, but what I do know is sometimes when you have a JC transfer type of player, they are, you know, they're behind in the recognition standpoint around from the prognosticators and such.
Was this a different draft, at least opening day for you, than the normal year where you're just going to take the next guy on your board? Were you taking a more specific slant to this first day?
Well, yeah, I mean, we talk about it a lot. We knew that this was going to be more your blue-collar, non-flashy type of draft. Coming off of last year's draft, when we did what we did, we knew that we were coming in here and we were able to focus in the second round on some, you know, tried and true, consistent football players. In our minds, they are, and there wasn't much flash about it, and we were fine with that because we knew where our focus was going into this year's draft.
The trade, could you take us through the trade and how that developed, and then maybe look ahead to tomorrow and the picks you got coming up in day 3 of the draft?
Yeah, we had a handful of guys that we were interested in the third round, and you know, Ozzie Newsome reached out to us to inquire about, you know, the possibility of moving, and it was right for us, and we thought we could move down a few slots and still get our man in Lamar Holmes, and in fact it did happen. It was a fairly brief conversation, and we had a little bit of fun with the discussion, and we moved expeditiously through the conversation, and we ended up securing the deal.
So Lamar would have been your pick at 84 if you'd have picked there?
That's correct.
And tomorrow you picked up 5th. You got you know, the 2 5s and 6 and 7.
Correct.
You know, you just forecast ahead for us to what tomorrow might be.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Smitty.
yeah, you know we're not going to talk.
We will
Forecast.
be very happy to make 4 picks tomorrow in the draft. You know, I'm not expecting to say, hey, I'm on a backup quarterback or a tight end from, say, Cincinnati or something.
Hey, we are looking forward to the opportunity to go out there and pick 4 guys tomorrow. We know we're going to add some players to our roster.
And to follow up on Mike's comments, and you never can rule out being creative with 4 picks. So.
Did you guys come in today thinking offensive line, or was the draft so fluid that you guys were just waiting to see how it unraveled in front of you?
We had a number of players at both 55 and 84 slotted. We went through many different scenarios, as you can imagine, because you can't project that far into the second round. So we had a number of players. Our hopes happened to be that we'd come away with 1 or 2 offensive linemen that could add to that, the competitive nature and the toughness and the ballast of this offensive line.
When you talk about Lamar, cross training of both right and left tackle, are you considering at all maybe moving Tyson around?
Well, I think as we said when we started, we're going to have a very competitive off season in the offensive line. we would look for all different types of combinations. We're going to try to put the best 5 out there and also have the best 7 available for us on game day. So you have to have the mixing and matching to come up with those types of combinations. And then we'll probably end up having 9 on our 53-man roster. So that's part of the formula as well. So it's just, it's a situation, John, where we're going to have, competition. We do have a new offensive coordinator. We have a new offensive line coach that's going to be working with the guys. So everybody's starting, at a different place in terms of where they were at the end of the season and where they were last year.
Coach, could you talk about Peter's ability to move? They ran him out on a lot of their sweeps. I know that playbook pretty well. So Coach Alvarez stays.
That hasn't changed much up there in Wisconsin. As Thomas mentioned earlier, they've got a very good running game, have a history with the offensive line. And I think the thing that impressed me the most was his ability to move the line of scrimmage in the run game, and then to also be an anchor point in the pass game. And I think it's very important in pass protection that you don't have push up the middle. We need to make sure that we don't have push up the middle, and I think he has the skill set to do that. He can create a wall in front of the quarterback, and I think you saw that when he was in pass protection. Outstanding run blocker that can get to the second level, even though he's 6'5", 320 or 315, 320 pounds. Did a nice job moving in their zone blocking schemes.
All right, boys. Good.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.